No, 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 don't move, don't go, don't go. No, this is still Drumsticks Sunday, yeah? Okay, I'm still Alberto Iglesias, and you know, here I'm still using a different pair of drumsticks every week, but the thing is today is the wrong place, right? It's not, it's not my cave. So yes, I had to find a different place in my house to record today, and but I know it sucks. It's not the best place, but anyway, it's just a house, okay? So here we are talking about drumsticks, okay? I have two options: not doing the video this week or doing it in a different place. So I prefer to do it. Okay, this week, as I mentioned in the past video, I've been using this model from Zildjian, which is called the Anti-Vibe model. Cool thing here, and this is a 5A. You have different options. You have 7A, you have 5B, different measures or models. And okay, first of all, what's the Anti-Vibe? Why they call it like that? Okay, the thing with this, what's special with this drumstick? Okay, the cool thing about this drumstick is that it has a piece of rubber here inserted in the middle of the drumstick. I think it's like this, and you can see here the start of that piece of rubber. And okay, why they do that? Okay, the idea is that this piece of rubber is going to help to absorbing the vibrations that you receive when the drumstick is hitting a surface. Okay, first of all, when you hit a surface with your hand, there's that thing about the grip that it's kind of important to learn to have a relaxed grip, or at least as relaxed as you need for the kind of music or for the style or for whatever. But why you should have a relaxed grip? Okay, the thing is, when you hit a surface, that surface is responding. Okay, it's answering your hit, your stroke. So all that vibrations that you receive from that surface, it's going through the drumstick, and if you have a tight grip, you are going to receive all that vibrations. All that vibrations is going to go through your wrist or through your arm and all that. Okay, especially if you're a heavy hitter, that could be a problem in the long term or middle term even, because of you can have different problems in your wrists or in your arms and all that stuff. Okay, so the idea is that if you have that relaxed grip, you are going to help to absorb that, to avoid that vibrations to go through your arm. When the drumstick is more relaxed, all that vibration is going to pass through the drumstick, or obviously you're going to receive a little bit of that. But if you are relaxed, you're going to allow the drumstick to move and to to avoid to have that vibrations in your body. Okay, cool. Sorry for the lesson. It's just an advice. I've been working a lot on that during this past year. So the idea is, what Zildjian is doing here is, okay, they know that that's the problem with the vibrations and all that. So they have designed this thing to help with the absorption. I mean, the idea is that this piece of rubber and this design is going to help to absorb the vibrations. Okay, so you still are going to receive a little bit of vibrations in your body, but because of this thing, apparently the drumstick is helping to absorb part of that vibrations. So they are specially designed for those of you that play with electronic kits, especially with not a high level electronic kit, but all that high level kits, they usually have drum heads, a mylar of that, but the cheap or middle ones, they usually have pads that are kind of hard to hit, and the harder the surface you're hitting, the more vibrations you're going to receive. So that's why they recommend to use this model for that kind of kits, or even for pads, regular practice pad and all that. If you are using hard ones, this is another option. Okay, so my opinion is, okay, cool, this is going to help for sure, but it shouldn't be substituting the learning of your grip or your practice, all that stuff, okay, about the relaxed grip. If you want to have a tight grip, okay, but it has to be your decision. It's not just because you don't know how to have your grip, okay? As many things in drums, okay? Cool. Well, now it's time to see the drumstick, okay? So here you have a picture of the Zildjian 5A Anti-Vibe model. Okay. Cool. So, what else? Okay, the first thing, the measures and all that. Okay, this is a regular 5A for Zildjian. So you have 16 inches, 0.560, kind of a short, medium to short taper, but pretty thin neck, okay? And you have an oval, kind of huge tip, okay? And okay, you have this piece of rubber here inserted inside of the drumstick, and it's a regular finish wood finish from Zildjian, okay? Translating that, okay, the only thing that is kind of peculiar in this case is we have 0.560. It's kind of a little bit thinner than a regular 5A from Big Fish, for example, which is 0.565, which is kind of the standard, let's say like that. So this is a little bit thinner than a regular, but I think that's a Zildjian thing. It's not related to this model in particular, okay? And what I was gonna say, okay, well, 16 inches, nothing to say, regular standard size. And two things I can say about the shape. First of all, this oval tip, big oval tip, this was kind of a signature thing from Zildjian, okay? This is the kind of the standard tip they were using. And I say were because apparently this year they decided to change, and the standard tip is going to be more like an acorn tip, like in other companies. In my opinion, I think I wrote something about this in the Facebook page of the channel, but I think it makes total sense in my opinion, because for me this tip, it's more extreme. I mean, it's not as dynamic or as standard as the acorn tip. What I mean with that is that for people that is starting playing drums, they're gonna adapt better to, I think, to the acorn tip, because they can use that in different styles. It's kind of something in the middle with some tone, but you can also have a little bit of definition. It's more like in the middle. This kind of tip is more extreme, in my opinion. You have a lot of surface. It's kind of huge compared with the drumstick, so you're gonna get more full tone from the cymbals, for example. You're gonna have more tone from the toms also, and from the snare. So it works for sure, but if you are learning, I think it's better to start with something like in the middle, that you're gonna then it's when you control that and you start learning that and you learn what kind of sounds you prefer, all that stuff, it's time to move. Okay, I prefer something bigger, something oval, something more round, and blah blah blah, okay? So I think that decision makes total sense for me. And what else? Okay, about the taper, it's something I've been noticing, I've been kind of studying this week, because I always talk especially about the length of the taper, okay? And I would say that, okay, if it's a long taper, you're gonna get a better rebound, harder to control, and blah blah blah, all that stuff. Okay, but what I've been realizing more every week is that the influence that not only the length of the taper, but the angle of that taper. I've mentioned that, I know I've mentioned that in many videos, but I'm starting to realize that, okay, you can have kind of a short taper. This is medium to short, okay, let's say like that. But the thing is, because of the neck, it's so thin compared with the rest of the drumstick, you still get an improved rebound, okay? You feel like the drumstick rebounds better, but it's easier to control the shorter the taper is, okay? But this is okay, this is not okay. Problem solved. Now we don't have to have a long taper. Now we can have it shorter, but with a thinner neck. It doesn't work exactly like that. Okay, it's kind of in the middle. You have to feel it. It depends on the rest of the drumstick for sure, but it's something that you're gonna notice. Okay, if you are playing with a long, super long taper, the thing is, the longer a taper, that angle, it doesn't matter so much. This thickness, the neck thickness. Okay, why? Because you have more surface, so the angle is gonna be softer anyway. But if you have medium to short taper, this is gonna have a lot of influence. Okay, if you have a pretty thick neck, the taper is gonna be short and it's no angle. Okay, but it is like in this case, you have a pretty thin neck. This is gonna have kind of a huge angle. So you still get that kind of feeling of better rebound feeling, okay? But on the other hand, we have another thing, which is because we have so little material here, you're gonna notice two things. First of all, the sound is gonna, the volume, okay? And the power of the stroke is gonna be reduced, okay? Less power, less sound, less volume even. So it's gonna affect for sure. And the other thing is the durability, okay? The thinner the neck is, the less durability you're gonna have. It's easier to break these drumsticks compared with one with a thick neck, of course, okay? So that's the thing about the taper. Another thing to pay attention, okay? Not only the length, but also the angle on the thickness of the neck, okay? Cool. So that's the thing with this drumstick. About the anti-vibe, okay? Honestly, I haven't noticed this too much, or nothing special about that. I know I prefer to be honest, as always. It's not a thing that you start playing so, oh my god, this is super more comfortable. Honestly, not. They are comfortable, they're easy to play, nothing. I mean, first thing, in my opinion, this thing is not affecting the feeling or the rebound or something like that. Affecting in a way that say, okay, it's impossible to play with this, it is around the sax and all. No way. Works perfectly. And I honestly think that this is the kind of thing you are gonna notice if you play for some time with them, okay? If you are usually playing with this kind of hard surfaces, and you start playing with this, after a while you're gonna notice that maybe your wrist is not suffering so much. You feel less tired. Your hands are gonna be less tired and all that stuff. Okay, that's the intention of this. It's not something like, okay, it's just like I started using it. No way, I don't have to take care of my grip anymore. No, it doesn't work like that. Okay, this is a help. Okay, is what it is. So first thing, is not affecting in a bad way. I mean, to the feeling of the drumstick. It works in that aspect. In my case, for example, using this on a acoustic kick. In my case, I used to tone very low the toms, sorry, and all that. So they already have some kind of rebound or absorption. Okay, so if that's the case, I mean it's kind of hard that this piece of rubber is going to affect more than the tone of the toms. Okay, now how much you have it, you know, the tension of the toms. Okay, it's probably they're gonna have more influence than this piece of rubber. But if you are using if you have a lot high tension in your toms or in your drums in general, or even if you are using thick cymbals, for example, all that stuff, this is gonna help for sure. Okay, but it's not it's honestly, sorry, I try to be honest. It's not something that you're gonna notice immediately. It's not. I think it works in time. Okay, you have to give them time and allow them to help you with that. What else? Nothing else to say. Honestly, it's good drumstick. Feels great. Easy to play. I don't. Honestly, as I was saying, this is not the kind of tip that I will use for sure. But considering that they have now this new tip, I'm not sure if they are gonna remake also this anti-vibe model with this acorn tip. I think it will be great, but I'm not sure. I can tell you exactly if it's gonna work like that. But anyway, it's a good drumstick. If you have, what would I say is, if you have that kind of problem now that you feel when you start playing and when you have been playing for, you know, you've been playing for half an hour or an hour and you start to feel problems with your wrist and you feel your hands super tight and all that stuff, maybe give them a try and see if it helps. Maybe it's helped, but please don't use this and say, okay, now I don't have to care about my grip. No, okay, use them as a help to reduce all that, because maybe even with a relaxed grip, sometimes you have to hit, and so sometimes you have to tie your grip, okay, for the way you're playing, for the sun, or for whatever reason. So this is gonna help, especially, as I was saying, for acoustic kicks, okay. So another cool thing that they are designing for us, so just use it if you need it, okay, or just if you want to try it, okay. Cool. One more thing, next week I'm not gonna make the video, okay. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to use the space and all that, so I have a lot of things this week, so I'm gonna pass for 1 week again. So see you in 14 days, okay. You have 14 days to practice, and please let me know what do you think, if you've ever used this, if you have that kind of problem and all that, let me know, okay. So see you in 14 days, okay. Keep practicing. Goodbye.